Hey, Faith Community. Thank you for checking out another one of our devotionals. Today we are in James chapter 2.
James.
And I have Clint here with me, and we want to talk about, there's really two main themes we see in this chapter. The first one is the sin of favoritism. So what can you tell us about the sin of favoritism?
Well, I think this sin is introduced to us when we're kids, when we're the last one picked on the softball team, when judgment calls are made. I think at some point or another, everyone in their life has been either a victim of favoritism or they've committed favoritism. And I think it's real important when talking about a church aspect, when seeing somebody new that's coming to the church, or introducing yourself to somebody. You really make judgment calls off of the way people dress. And that's exactly what it's talking about here. Somebody who's dressed in fine clothes, or a poor person dressed in filthy clothes. And we really tend to judge the book by its cover. And it's wrong, because we have no idea what their story is or what's happening. Now, as a side note, I think we should dress nice. It's important first impressions. If we're representing, wherever we're working, representing our family, representing the Lord, we should be dressing nice. But as far as favoritism goes, I used to be a car salesman before I was a children's director here.
I remember
Yeah.
those days.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I dressed real nice. But I was on the lot, and there was a guy over by the trucks. I was helping somebody out, but I had seen somebody else walk on, and he was too far away for me to see what he was wearing. But eventually I saw him in the car room working out a deal, and I didn't know what it was until later. But it turns out this guy walks on, he's up by the trucks, and one of our car salesmen sees him, and he didn't even bother to go talk to him, because this is the trucks are expensive. He's in the expensive side of the lot, and his clothes were not necessarily like, I'm going to buy a truck
Right.
material, right? And so he makes that judgment call. Like, I'm not going to go over and talk to him, because it's probably going to be wasting my time, and I would rather save my time for a customer that's going to buy a car. So somebody else, though, goes over to him and starts talking to him. Turns out this guy wins the lottery the day before, something like that, and he buys 10 cars.
Wow.
10, and I don't know if they were all trucks or something. I don't know what he was going to do with 10 cars, but my coworker got 2-3 weeks commission in that one day of this. Yeah. So he was pretty happy.
Yeah. And I think for us inside the church, it's just seeing the right things in people, that no matter who walks through that door, it's a child of God. It's someone created in his image. It's someone who's loved by God, and it's knit together in their mother's womb by God. And, we are trained to look at the exterior things.
Right.
And, James just wants us to zero in and say, like, let's focus on what really matters. And I think that's, one of the things that Caleb mentioned several weeks ago in the sermon is like the importance of hospitality in sharing the gospel.
Right.
And I think we as a church have an opportunity to maybe show that hospitality and show that love by not showing favoritism and looking at the person the same way that God does.
Right. Yeah. And favoritism, somebody walks in, they're not a believer too. That's real important, because if you don't have that self-control to go up and talk to somebody regardless of what your view is of them off the first impression, or even if like the way they talk, what they talk about, and it's not something that clicks with you. That's probably one of the hardest things for me too, is talking about things, or talking in a way that is not necessarily my style or something that I would click with easily. I think that's a skill that everybody needs to learn, to be able to judge people's character based off of who they are, not what they wear or the first impression. So the other section in this chapter is faith and works, and talking about obviously we're not saved through works, but we do good works because we're saved. And I think this is something that's a lot of what people take away from this, is just that. I think that it's really important to know that, like, even though we don't get saved by our works, that like doing a good work, even though you're not necessarily earning something from it because you're already saved, is so important for reaching people for the gospel. Something nice that somebody did. I mean, you talk about your story of when you came to youth group and the youth pastor decided to remember your name and your story. And now here you are sitting here as a youth pastor.
Took his job.
Yeah, took his job. That's not where I was going, but yeah. So I think a really important point that we need to make too is that we have the Holy Spirit that enables us to supernaturally have mercy, compassion, care, and the ability to do these good works, especially to people who are our enemies, and not just everyone. And I would even compare it to somebody like the Mormons, who their whole salvation is according to them, is dependent on their good works. And I think us as believers actually having the Holy Spirit and having a true God and the Spirit that allows us to do those good works, we should be out performing the Mormons. We should be the ones that should be the most known for our good works. But obviously there's powers that are fighting against that and trying to make a false religion more apparent than we are there. But as far as our own personal actions of doing good works, that we should be the most known for doing that.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys that James is getting at is like it flows from your faith, right? That the works come from your faith, and one of the pictures that I love being married, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well, is I love my wife, and therefore good works flow from that.
Right.
And if I were to say that I love my wife and yet I'm not doing anything to show that love, you would question my love. Right. At the same time, if I were just doing the works but the love isn't behind it, you would question my love of my wife. And the same thing is true with our relationship with God, where we can't just say we have faith in God and not perform any works. Like that's, James specifically says, show me without your faith, without works, and I will show you faith by my works. You believe God is one, good. Even the demons believe and they shudder. Like you can say all you want, it doesn't matter. And at the same time, we're not supposed to be Pharisees or these goody two-shoe Christians that are just concerned about checking the boxes without the faith behind it. So I think one thing that we could take away from this is if you see yourself like, man, it doesn't feel like my works or the fruit is there, like instead of trying to correct that by doing more works, like go back to the gospel, preach the gospel to yourself, reignite your faith, and then watch the works flow from that.
Right. It's a great way to remind yourself that you're saved too, that like you can look at the fruit in your life and fruit that people have told you that you have. It's works is not a faith or a salvation giver, but a salvation indicator.
Yep.
So anyway, that's James chapter 2. We'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless.
See ya.